Hello guys, welcome to Anime TMJ Talks channel. In this video we are going to talk about the importance of every arc of One Piece, starting from the Elvida arc to the end of the arc, not the whole One Piece cause the video would become too long. We would start with the Alvida one. Here we were able to see that in this arc Luffy's power was seen to us because at that time we were able to know that Luffy had the Gum Gum fruit. Yes, the Gum Gum fruit. And here we were able to understand that being a rubber man, he was purely immune to any type of physical attacks like punches, whatever it is. And we were also known to one of the strongest, not strongest, I mean one of the most important characters in the future, Alvida, because in this arc we were able to understand that Alvida was one of the most weakest, but after that she again joined with the Buggy. But the most important here was the Kobe. Kobe was very much important for this arc cause in this arc Kobe was the main type of character who would be shown as a glow up in the next type of series. We were also able to understand that a marine can also be good, not all the marines might be bad or something else. We were given a reference that also that Luffy's way of getting the dream is truly dangerous because he can even stand out to give his life for his own goal. And that is why we were able to understand that this guy Luffy is not someone to take lightly. But I would want to add a thing that would be between the Alvida arc and the X-Men Morgan arc, that would be the talking about the pirate hunter Roronoa Zoro. At the Alvida arc, Kobe talked about him, and during the X and Morgan arc, Zoro was going to Luffy's crew. So I was confused a little bit to put which in place that where Zoro was introduced, but I guess I would put it between these two arcs. Like in this between two arcs, we were able to know about the Roronoa Zoro, the future right hand man of Yonko, and the future strongest swordsman who might even beat the Mihawk. And that is how I want to say that this is the middle most important part of the whole Alvida and the X and Morgan series, cause we could not see any more of any type of better crew than Zoro, who was so loyal to Luffy. Now if we talk about X and Morgan arc, here we were able to understand that Luffy still had his own weakness, that was the power of the any type of sharp objects, cause rubber can be cut off by the sharp objects, and that was the only weak point we knew until then. We were also able to understand that not only the pirates are bad, but also some marines are even like corrupted, or maybe are doing everything for their own good, not doing to catch pirates. And with this we were also able to see in this where we would see the Helmeppo, one of the another strongest pupil during the whole time. Here we were able to see that X and Morgan's Helmeppo, and after that we were again able to see that Kobe was left off, and we were again able to see that Marines could have also respected Luffy if he was a good pirate. And we were also able to see that Marines do not hate pirates only for any other reasons except being evil. But it's not like that. Here it showed that all the Marines are like this good. And after that, talking about the Buggy's arc, here we were able to see one of the future Yonko Buggy, like I mean the future talked Yonko Buggy. Everyone knows him as a Yonko, though he is not eligible to be one, but let's consider him as a Yonko and an important member. He was also one of the first members of the Roger Q who was ever introduced, and not only this, he was also shown as a fearsome character, like how much evil a pirate can become just because of his pride. Like he destroyed a literal part of the village with his buggy bomb without any reason, just to show his powers. On not only that, it also showed that they are Luffy, who has a devil fruit, Buggy has also his own devil fruit powers. And we were also introduced to one of the main navigators of the One Piece, that is Nami. And Nami's introduction was quite impressive because she was shown as a thief, but after that she joined Luffy's crew and is now one of the most important members of them. She was shown as a very weak character, but still importance of a navigator and also importance of her is very much in this One Piece, and also this showed that how much important it can be for putting your life on the line to be just a pirate. Now going to the next one, where we were able to get introduced to one of the snipers of the One Piece crew, that is Usopp. Not only this, we were able to see the first person who was ever able to scratch Luffy, that was Captain Kuro. His amazing speed also had shown me that there are pirates that are much more powerful even in the East Blue instead of the Grand Line. And here we were not only given this Kuro, but also we were able to see the Going Merry of Luffy. That was the first ever ship of Luffy and was one of the most important members of the Luffy's crew, because it helped Luffy a lot during it lots of time, and it was the first confirmed ship of Luffy. And the next one is the introduction to Sanji. He was one of the most main of the cooks in the Luffy's crew, so he is quite important. We should not ignore that his coming was also the coming of a strong straw hat character. In Luffy's crew, we were also able to see Don Creek, the ruler of the East Blue. He was also shown as a very bad character like other villains, but here it was a twist that we were able to understand how much difficult of a life a pirate leads, because in this, like literally Don Creed had to use all of his most important and the most dirty moves to be done, like using marine ships. And we were also able to understand that we are facing pirates in this world, not some saints. Talking about it, we were able to see that many people were overrating Zoro like being invincible, but Mihawk's entry literally made Zoro into a like weak swordsman. We were also able to understand which type of people lives in the Grand Line and what should we be feared of instead of getting feared by the name Don Krieg. After that we were able to see Arlong Park arc, where we were first mainly introduced to the fishmen. We did not have any idea of the fishmen and even of their existence, but actually in this arc we were able to see one of the members of that Fishman Island who escaped and became a pirate. Like, I know Arlong was a quite cruel, but still he had his own problems and his importances for and his way of solving any kind of problem. You understand what I'm saying? And also we were able to see Luffy's leadership and his importance, the importance he shows towards his crew members. That was literally OP when Luffy literally saved Nami from getting her hands cut off, and that was one of the most OPest moment of One Piece, especially for Luffy. Here we were able to understand that every crew might not be too much powerful, but it is quite an important thing. Here we were also able to understand that Luffy's opponents are going to get stronger, cause here Arlong was able to almost defeat Luffy. If Luffy was not saved by them, he could have even died. And also not only that, we were able to see Usopp attacking any other type of pirates or anyone for the first time, like that fireball charge or whatever you say. And now we were able to again see Arlong's power, and with this the last East Blue saga comes. This is the time of the Smoker's arc. Here we were able to get introduced to one of the main characters, Roronoa Zoro's new sword, which we were able to see that there are legendary swords around the world that people saw, like people want to get, and these type of swords are much more powerful. Like cursed swords are also their names given by the people. We were able to get a Zoro's new powers, like not too much, but still it was as powerful as we wanted, or it was like just giving Zoro the new swords that he wanted and that he needed. Not only that, we were able to see one of the best marines ever introduced, that was Smoker. I know after time skip due to Haki, Smoker was getting a little bit of trashed by both Luffy and Law, but still we were able to see one of the strongest marines, though he depends on his devil fruit the mostly and he uses a sea prism stone, but he was OP. Now moving to the next one was Lamund arc. Here we were able to introduce to another Roger crew, that was Crocus. Crocus was an old man who was once the doctor of the Roger's crew. We were not able to get hint that this old man was the one of the crew of the Roger ship, but still we were able to understand that Crocus was once a pirate, and also the buggy one was not suspected by anyone, but still we were able to know that buggy was one of the Roger's crew. Crocus' importance was quite, because after that we were able to not know Crocus if we did not know him from the start, because as we saw, the both cat and the dog did not introduce all the pirates well, and we were able to hear see again Labun, which was a quite reference to the brook, like Labun and brook were almost connected, and this is much more important because you know that Labun is quite an important character and one of the main reasons why Brook had joined the Straw Hats. And now this was also the opening of the Grand Line. After that we went to that Elbaf island, where we were able to understand that there are giant people here who fights, and there is an army of them which is called Elbaf, and they are quite powerful. Like we were able to see that even this normal, like these are like the underlings of the Elbaf place, and were still like 100 million bounties worth, and were able to even crash Luffy if they wanted during Alabasta arc. And it was the start where we were able to see Drum Islands, where we saw Chopper. We know that Chopper's introduction was a bit strange, like seeing a reindeer coming on a ship, but it was still an important thing. We were able to understand that why a doctor is important on a ship, because Chopper was a doctor, and we were able to see Nami almost got sick and she could have even died if Chopper had not saved him, like it was Kureha, but still Chopper had come to the crew and was one of the most strongest. And now let's talk about another thing in the Drum Island, that was Blackbeard. Yes, this guy, he is going to be one of the main villains of One Piece. Still he was shown so much early in the whole Drum Islands, like even before we were able to get introduced to another warlords, we were able to literally get known to Blackbeard. Now let's go to Alabasta Island, where we were able to understand the power of a warlord, Crocodile. Crocodile's power was quite impressive. Like we could see, Crocodile was the first warlord Luffy fought with all of his power, because with Mihawk, Luffy was not quite interested in defeating him, cause Mihawk had not done anything wrong for Luffy to go rampaging over him and saying, "Hawk, I will kill you." No, not like this. He was not doing it. But here Crocodile had done a great problem for the Vivi, and here we were also able to get known to a Logia type fruit, that was sand fruit. We were able to understand that there are these type of fruits that we cannot penetrate. Here we were also getting a reference of the whole Haki, that was an important part by that word of Crocodile when he said, "Could it be?" But not, it is not like that, and we were pressed off. Like we could not understand that there was something known as Haki, but many people like me might have noticed this, but many people did not. We were able to get introduced to another main Straw Hats, that was Nico Robin. Nico Robin's importance in Straw Hats, you know that it's most important. Here we were able to get known to some important things like poneglyphs or some other things because of Nico Robin, and we were again able to understand that these poneglyphs would let Luffy reach the one Piece, and Robin was quite an important character for that. In this arc, we were able to get a great character development and a great powerful attacks of Luffy, like Gum Gamono shotgun, though it is still not recognized too much because Luffy used it like once, but it was still important because Luffy got his power so much high that once he got defeated by Arlong so badly, but after that he was able to trash Bellamy in just some seconds with his one attack that was quite OP, and this is why Alabasta was important. Not only that, we were able to see Ace, the brother of Luffy, he is an important character, especially in Marineford arc. He was able to get a lot much more fame, and his powers were quite impressive, like getting some ship wrecked with one of your strongest attack. I know that Fire Fist is one of the strongest, not strongest, but still, we were again able to understand that there were some people who were able to compete Roger, and Roger was not completely like invulnerable to any persons. That was our Whitebeard or Shirohige. Sorry, I'm not very much good in Japanese, but still, whatever you talk about, that Whitebeard was the only man who fought on head to head with Roger. Was quite like, I don't know why it was said, like Garp and many other people like Shiki were able to get Roger to their own limits, but let's say that Whitebeard was known as the strongest man in the world. Here Luffy also got his new bounty of 100 million. I know that the Arlong Park arc he got his first bounty, but this bounty was quite important because this was the first time when Luffy was going to get introduced and Luffy was starting. His first defeating Warlord was quite impressive, and Luffy showed his power to a Warlord quite easily, and that is why let's move on to the next arc, that is Skype arc. It did not have much importance, but it showed us another reference of Haki in the form of mantra, where NL was able to dodge Luffy's attack with just his observation Haki, or whatever they called its mantra. This was quite important cause we were able to understand that there are some special powers in this world that can be gotten by only training, not by anything else. We were again able to see another OP character in the next, like between of that arc, that Skypia arc and the water7 arc. We were able to see Aokiji. This was the first time when we saw any marines trashing Luffy like this. Like at first we saw that the weakest Alvida literally blew up some ships of marine like it was nothing. But meanwhile, we started underestimating that marines, and then in this arc's middle, we were able to see Aokiji, who literally trashed Zoro and Sanji and Luffy together. This was the first strong admiral and the first strong marine shown to us. Now on the next water7 arc, we were able to see the CP9. This was a quite important arc cause here a lot of importances were shown, and this is the second last like arc I am talking about its importance. So here in this we were able to get introduced to CP9, who were quite important because after that CP0 some other types of things were also coming in people's mind. Here we also saw Luffy's leadership, where he, for saving his crew, started fighting with Usopp and showed his powers. It also gave Usopp a type of character development, like Usopp was getting as much strong to fight his captain, and it was quite impossible for Usopp to win, but he still did. That was some things that showed us that if Usopp was serious, he could get fit in the crew. He was not the weakest member of the crew at all. And not only that, Luffy, this was quite a thrilling arc where we were able to see a lot of mysteries, like why was Nico Robin leaving the crew, why were all of these things happening. Like it was quite a confusing, but it was still thrilling. I like literally this type of thrills that made a type of was getting hyped a lot of, because the Nikorovins disappearing, Usopp's getting away showed us that how much of a leader Luffy is and how much important and problematic it can be being a captain of any crew. We were also able to see Deacon Robin's past because it was quite important to understand it. We were able to understand Nico Robin's importance in the crew. Not only that, we were able to see some character developments of some people except Luffy. Except Nico Robin, we were able to see Gear 2 and Gear 3 of Luffy, the monster form of Chopper, the power of Nami, and not only that, we were also able to see that Sanji's, whatever you say, Diabol Jambe and Zoro's Ashura were quite impressive. Here the Straw Hats had gotten a little bit of much further of defeating one of the strongest world governments like Mons CP9. This made Luffy go up a little bit of one stage more, and this was quite hyping. Like government started liking him, not liking, giving him a stronger bounties. Not only that, we were able to see Frankie, who was quite a strong character. He was the shipwright of Luffy right now, and his importance and his showing was quite important because here we were able to see Frankie. Not only that, because of him we were able to get one of the best ships on the One Piece world, that was Thousand Sunny. It had its own importances in its own ways. Like Frankie was able to get his character. We were able to see new powers of Frankie from this. Not only that, we were able to get the mystery of why was Mary acting in that way, who repaired Mary in quite a beautiful manner, where Frankie explained that like the spirit of Mary or something else had helped them repair their ship, and the Mary itself wanted to go. We were able to see the friendship between the two people, pirates and ships. Not only that, we were able to see Garp, the hero, who almost caught Roger, and not only that, we were also able to understand that Luffy had his grandfather as a marine, whereas we were able to understand the dragon's mystery at that Smoker arc, where we understand that why Dragon saved him. It was because Dragon was actually his father, like Luffy's father, and that was important because saving his son was much more important than other things. We were able to understand Luffy's relation. Not only that, in the thriller work arc, we were able to know one of the strongest character ever and one of the strongest warlords, the Gecko Moria or whatever you say. He was quite an impressive character to be shown. Like he was the one of the, not only that, but also Kuma was also shown in here, though he was not fully shown, but still he was shown. Not only that, Or's power was shown in this one. Here we were able to see that how much of a powerful people used to exist in the last. Not only that, after getting beaten by Kuma, Zoro and Sanji showed their loyalty towards Luffy. That was important. And not only that, Or's power also shocked us, that how much powerful and devastating can Luffy be in a stronger body. Not only that, we were able to see Brook, one of the strongest character in the One Piece. He was quite impressively shown, like he is a showing like yo was quite impressive. Like I love the entrance of Brook the more than any other people. While we are talking about Brook, not only that, Luffy got his another form, not permanent but still another form, where he was able to literally turn into Nightmare Luffy. That was so powerful. Like he stopped Oat's attack in just one of his hands. He was able to stop Oat's attack with one punch. We were also able to see Lola, who was one of the daughters of the Big Mom and was also again going to show up during the, he was going to be said about in the whole Cake Island. Even after time skip, she gave her Vivre card to Nami, that everyone knows, who has finished the anime, everyone knows that she gave this to Nami, why it was important. He here also got in the a type of relation towards Big Mom, but it was not very much tough, but still. And now this is the end of this video. Yes, I know this video was quite longer, but still, if you have watched until this, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed, make sure that you would subscribe to my channel, share this to your friends to show them the importance of One Piece. And that is it for today's video. Thanks for watching.